Hello again. I am so happy to be joined by my next guest, as I have been a fan of the legendary Belfast punk band The Outcasts since they were formed way back in 1977. The band is made up of brothers Greg and Martin Cowan, along with JP and Pete Burns, and they are back to take to the stage in Bangor's Ward Park as part of the Open House Festival. Welcome, lead singer and bassist Greg Cowan. Good to see you.
What a lovely thing to say at the start, Pam.
Well,
thanks very much.
It's an absolute joy, because I remember going to see you in one of your comeback gigs, and you said the strangest thing was seeing Pamela Ballantyne and Paul Rankin pogoing across the front of the stage.
Or as you got up to dance about 4 Mohicans with guys with tattoos all over their faces, all just holding back and going, "It's Pam, it's Pam."
But you must be so happy to be back on stage as well.
Oh God, I didn't think, like, I knew I have missed it so much, honestly. I mean, our careers kind of in reverse. It's only now that in the last sort of 5 or 6 years that we got to be a touring band. We were back on the road, and to take that away, it has just been awful.
I can only imagine what the last year or so has been like, because you came back with great gusto with the band, and the energy and the performance. You're garnering young fans now as well as the oldies like myself.
Well, it's funny, getting to tour the world. I mean, UK, you still maybe tend to get audiences your own age, but once you get to Germany, France, Switzerland, Japan, I just thought I'd mention that there, all of a sudden audiences are young. I always worry, Jay, because they maybe got your records from like 30 or 40 years ago, and then they're looking at these old men on the stage and going, "Where's the Outcast?" But it's been brilliant. It's been absolutely brilliant. Because
you were initially signed to Terry Hooley's Good Vibes label, and then, yes, of course, you were immortalised in the movie too. But you went along as an extra to watch yourself on stage, didn't you?
You know what? I think it's one of the most, it's one of the most brilliant experiences. Number one, Good Vibrations, the movie. We were so lucky. It's actually a really good movie. I mean, a lot of movies about bands are absolutely appalling. To get and see somebody play on stage, and then later in the lyric,
yes,
which was also to play at the lyric was just. It was almost closer to real life, because you're seeing it, and the band was actually playing live. It's just one of the best moments of my life.
And when you moved on, obviously, and you got a new record label as well now, when you started out, did you think that at your age now you'd be signing and still producing records and appearing on stage?
Can you imagine? Like, we started 76. If somebody had told me in 2021, number one, I'd be on the number one show on UTV, never mind anything else.
Thank you very much.
But to have, we, as I say, our careers in reverse. We signed for it's the first time an American label brought out our record for us. Of course, our timing, like all our career, just before COVID. So we signed to an American label. We were about to go and do our first American tour. And then obviously all that has been closed down, hopefully next year. But yeah, punk was all about 2 weeks. It was all about, like, we bought our guitars in club books, if you remember them.
Of course.
We were on stage we were on stage 2 weeks later. We didn't bother to learn them. That was the thing. We were punk rockers. We were on stage. We were playing. Then it was going to be a record out. And I never imagined I would be like one of Northern Ireland's old-time museum style. Like, there's me and Van Morrison, and I think he's a couple of years younger than me.
Well, I think the very aptly titled EP, Stay Young, which we're going to hear at the end of the programme, it's lovely. But also in the video, where did you get so many unicyclists?
Well, do you know what? You do get the irony of it when you see our faces and Stay Young, and the director of the video had a brilliant idea to dress up. It's the Derry Circus School. So they dress up as us and then do their performances. And can I tell you something? I mean, we filmed everything in 2 days. And making videos is not fun. I mean, it takes hours. Everything has to be redone. And those kids just amused us. If they weren't on camera, they were doing tricks. Their parents were down. It was just the most lovely day.
The whole thing comes across as you loving every single minute that you are doing. You're going to be on the Open House Festival Bangor.
Oh, yes, we are.
22nd of August. Greg, yes, always a pleasure. Good to see you. And thanks for joining me. It's
going to be a lovely day.
Wear your vests. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, before we hear from the Outcasts with Stay Young, here's Brian Henry Martin with his latest entertainment tips of the week.